Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. Hey, I'm your host for L2 Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is season 15, I believe. 14, 15, episode 11. And yes, I am back. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Like this video and share it. And you can also subscribe if you are new and leave your comments below. First, I want to thank everyone for your patience with me last week. I had to take a break. And possibly I'll get into that on another day. But anyways, let's get into this episode. I really did enjoy myself watching it. Okay, so we are in Augusta, Georgia. It is a trip planned by Sutton. This is Sutton's hometown. It seemed like Sutton invited Garcelle and also Kyle. You would kind of, of course, how things are between Sutton and Erica are kind of wishy-washy. You would think that this would be a trip for Erica, but Erica is back in Beverly Hills, to me, pulling stunts and shows to try to show the world that she's a evolved person, and what you've seen for the last few years is not who she is anymore. She's been through so much. She's been through the fire. She's been through the rain. She's been through the floods. I'm not trying to make total light of everything that's happened. I just have had my own thoughts about Erica Jane and Tom Girardi, even though I'm not saying that Erica is the one that made the the executive deals as far as stealing these folks' money. I just don't think that she is as unknowing as she likes to portray in this whole situation. So she can play the whole victim mode. I don't know. I still feel like she was kind of the soft cushion to take that blow and allow Tom to go act like he crazy somewhere, old and crazy and don't have his mind together after he done stole all that money. Yeah, doesn't make sense. But now she's cleaned up her act. She's not drinking. She's not taking any pills. She had an upper and a downer, and now she's redecorating her living room, and this is her way of saying how I guess she's changed. I guess life is getting better for her. So that's all I'm gonna say about Erica this episode, because this has been her this season. But however y'all take Erica, y'all take Erica. I'm going to go with Bose right now. Something that I wanted to get out of the way so we could just talk a little bit more about Sutton and her experience down there in Georgia and confronting some of the ghosts of the past and current, and hopefully she can move on into her future. So Bose, she talks with her daughter. Keely, her man, wants to have a baby. Bose does want her and her daughter, the daughter and Keely, to start forming a relationship because he's going to be around for a while. They've talked about the future, they talked about marriage, they talked about children and all that. And Keely's up for it. Keely would like to get to know the guy. She didn't know that Bose was seriously dating as long. I think they've been dating for 8 months or whatever. Look, at this point, maybe some people are saying 8 months is too soon. I don't know. They're at least talking about the future. I think the only thing that's kind of a little bit more urgent is probably having children because of her biological clock, Bose's biological clock ticking. That's the only thing as to why that they are talking in regards to that part, But the daughter is even up for another child. She said, I know that I will be leaving soon, like the college and all that. Our relationship is evolving, and I think it would be good for you to have that type of connection with someone else. And Bose was taken aback because it's like, this grown lady, little teenage girl is able to comprehend and to articulate intelligently how she feels, and to also have an understanding as to what could be next for the future. She's not trying to be selfish and saying, I want to be the only child or anything to that nature. And some children do feel that way. I think feelings are feelings and they should be expressed, no matter what the next step is, or how can someone help in adjusting someone to feel okay, even if it's not the answer you want. Let's say, oh, I don't want you to have a baby, I want to be the only child. There could be steps that you guys can take, like, look, now you're not in control of the uterus, child, but I can help you to be comfortable in the decision that we make. And even if you aren't comfortable, I mean, kind of, oh well, in my opinion. So it was a great conversation. I love Bose's relationship with her daughter. I just wish, I'm just saying something from a personal level, I wish in my home there was communication. There wasn't, for so much. And I've played catch up on my own. So, anyways, we move on from that. We'll come back to Beverly Hills later, but let's go on back down to Augusta. I'm not gonna go like in a timetable way, but they were going to look. All I can say is Miss Reba and Sutton are two of a kind. And as much of a daddy's girl as Sutton is, she does have some of her mother's qualities. Kind of this, how can I say this? Rigid, I like things this way, kind of critiquing everything, and I'm just particular with this, that. That's her. Ms. Reba, who is a Cancer. Cancers, to my knowledge, the most I know is that they can be emotional and also nurturing. And I guess that emotional part is for that nurturing that's inside of them. Emotional could go in other ways too, but you know. Ms. Reba says, I don't have that. I found out this lady is a therapist. It's very interesting to see people who have studied different type of, okay, the general, they specialize in human behavior, but they lack stuff in their own lives, even in them studying or being specialists in it, like a therapist. It's like, wait, so why are you jacked up trying to be a therapist for others? I think Miss Reba is like 82 or 84 or so, or whatever. She had this conversation, I think, with Kyle or just Garcelle in regards to retiring. They're like, why? I'm 82. It's time to retire. She's blunt, just like Sutton is. I love it. I loved her. I didn't love everything about her, but I mean, I still love what she gave us. She gave us what was real, you know? Before we get to the more deeper parts, you know, they did have brunch. She was like, why are we having it brunch and it's still breakfast? And Avi was here as Sutton's assistant, and Mama was ready to eat. And Mama didn't understand where all this brunch crap come from. Let's get to breakfast. Avi's like, I'm going to wait for Miss Sutton. I'm glad that Avi did not break protocol, because some people will make you try to break protocol when you know that you are functioning for someone else. As far as, I mean, Sutton is his boss, or his employer. I don't like saying boss. It has different connotations to me when you say boss. So I don't say that, even to the CEO of the company I work for. You're my employer. Anyways, they had, I saw eggs, I saw biscuits, maybe some type of meat, I don't know. There was grits there. And I guess Southern folk just don't want no sugar and grits. I'll just let you know, I put sugar in my grits. Ms. Reba said that's for folk in northern folk. I'm from the north, so probably that's why I put sugar in my grits. But it's like, now that I've been in Florida, I understand that there is a sweet grit and a savory grit and all that. I have not had anything savory as a grit as of yet. Hopefully y'all got a Waffle House by y'all, because I always get grits from there. What was the other place? Shoney's. That's another good place to get grits from. So, anyways, yeah, power to the grits with sugar and butter. Kyle, she took a run. I said, okay, good. We're finally going back to some of the formula that we had last season, with her working out and all that stuff. So I didn't know if you were even doing that anymore, Kyle, because it's like you switch storylines each season and what your pros are. So cool, whatever. They have a conversation. But then Garcelle wants to speak because Sutton had already expressed, she doesn't think that her mom is proud of her and all that good stuff. Garcelle was kind of trying to talk with Reba about that, and she said, "No disrespect, Miss Reba." And Miss Reba was like, "No disrespect, Garcelle, but I don't think that's any of your business." It's like, fair. As a friend, I'm coming, Ooh, Garcelle tried to not get an attitude or anything, but was just trying to say, "Hey, I'm here out of concern and care for my friend." Da 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 da. Of some of the things that Sutton says. So you're the messenger. I mean, you could call it that, Ms. Reba, but in some things she doesn't Sutton feel comfortable in talking to you about. Garcelle said in her confessional that she feels like there is some resentment or jealousy with Ms. Reba because Sutton was a girl, a daddy's girl, and there was a greater relationship there than it was with the mother. But the mother wasn't really accessible. As she says, she was not nurturing. So I can understand what type of relationship they did have. I understand the type of relationship that Sutton has with her mom. I already said that there was no type of communication. There was a type of communication, but I just don't feel like going through all that right now. But the only way we expressed ourselves in our home was arguing and yelling. So it's good to see different type of other relationships, even through reality TV. So, but what I was gonna say, I'm kind of getting off the topic here, or getting all over the place. But Sutton plans to go visit her childhood home. Ms. Reba does not want to go there. So if you do not know, Sutton's father committed he unalived himself. So we find out that he, at least in this episode, I don't think that she said it beforehand, or at least it wasn't aired, that he had chronic depression. Sutton found out or realized all this was going on with him at the age of 36 or 26, was it? And by 32, he actually offed himself. There were trips to the hospital. I think twice he was had to go to the hospital. And around Christmas of when she was 32, he ended up doing it. I think Miss Reba was there, and Miss Reba has never actually dealt with it before. Sutton's been trying to get through it. She feels like this was one of the last steps that she needed to try to come to a conclusion to the stuff that happened to her, or happened to her family. So she visits an old home, and she remembers this area that her father designed. He was the more cook of the home. Mom wasn't really a good cook. She was into frozen fish sticks and all that good stuff. It was very well decorated and all that. She grieved. I thought she was going to be just bawling, but she didn't. Kyle was there, Garcelle was there. They hugged her and all that, and it just kind of was like, I don't want to say a full circle, but it was a completion for her. They go back to the house that they're staying at, or with that Miss Reba's home or whatever. Sutton finally has a talk. And a talk that I wish I had with my dad before he passed. It's hard to know how to talk to people that don't let you in. And that's where it was with me, with my dad. It's like my dad was here in the house. How can I say this? You know how people talk about absentee fathers or absentee parents? How about having one in the home and still be absent? You knew he was a provider, but he didn't show any emotions besides when he did drink and all that good stuff, you know? So I didn't have that type of relationship. I miss him a lot and didn't really understand how much I loved him until he did pass away. Sutton has the conversation, and she was like, I don't know if you're proud of me. And Reba was like, why do you think that you need to know all that? What you don't, she doesn't know how to express all of that But Sutton and Reba kind of came to this conclusion of working on a better relationship. And she ended up getting words. She wanted some affirming words, Sutton did. And Miss Reba finally did give it to her. In Miss Reba's mind, she had something else going on and didn't think that anyone needed that or Sutton needed that. She's going to be coming to Sutton's fashion show because, you know, Sutton's life, half of her life has been married to a man, catering to a man. And it's interesting that Miss Reba, who was a therapist, actually found a career or whatever, who wouldn't have celebrated Sutton in her own success that she's doing on her own with her own boutique and all that. But she's coming and all that good stuff. So things are better. She hugged Miss Reba and Reba actually reached out and hugged her back. She didn't stand up and all that good stuff. She took what she could get from Miss Reba. And I think that was a major breakthrough for Sutton. And it's something that I did desire from my dad. I can't go back in time. I just never knew how to break the ice and how to make that happen, because I know how to be at a long reach, even in your home, and you want that type of relationship with your parents. So kudos to Sutton. Back in Beverly Hills, just briefly, Erica, Bose, and Dorit, they look pretty cool. Dorit looked good in her outfit. I haven't even been complimenting her this year, this season, but I'll give her that. They talk about everything that's going on in their lives. You know, I'm not talking about Erica. We know what's going on there. Bose did say that she talked to her child in regards to having another child, and also that Keely and them have not shared I love you. She wants him to say I love you first. And how I've heard that you need to make sure that your partner is in love with you more than you love them or into them or whatever. I think that's more for women than men, but I think it really should be for both, because people get into relationships for so many reasons and don't really mean anyone that much well. Dorit talks about that she had a conversation with PK and it looks like things are going nice. And then Bo said, wait a minute, I think it's a trick to try to desensitize your senses about what's about to happen. Dorit's kind of in la la land as to it proceeding to divorce, but it looks like it could be. Because I think last week's episode, it was more like he was rounding the troops around so he can take you on to court. And California is quite crazy as far as marriage, and you could be stuck in court for years trying to get what's rightfully yours. And people trying to take what's rightfully yours. So, hey. Sutton said it before. You better be prepared. Nobody listened, and I know Sutton's just not respected. Bo's is saying it. Erica is saying it. We're going to see how long this lasts, and we'll go from there. I did enjoy this episode. Next week, things start getting hot, as it is for the 4th of July for them from last year. Y'all can tell me your thoughts, what you thought about Ms. Reba and how she operates. I don't think that she's too far off on how other people do, some parents are towards their children. I hope Ms. Reba gets some healing in regards to even her husband passing away. But we shall see what happens with that relationship. But it was great. This second half is a lot better than the first half. It was cool for a minute to see Kyle and Sutton, Dorit go at it, but it's like, okay, whatever. Let's see what else is going on with other people's lives. And I'm glad that Sutton is opening up, as everyone tried to say that she wasn't. But kudos to you, Sutton, for handling this. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video, subscribe, and leave your comments below. Until the next one, peace. Have a good day.